Welcome to the Insurance Marketing Organization podcast, where financial services marketing expert Seth Green interviews IMO experts, executives, and top producers to share can't-miss tips on how they successfully manage their IMOs, grow their businesses, create great relationships, and influence the industry. And now, here's your host, Seth Green.
Welcome to the podcast. This is your host, Seth Green. Today, I have the good fortune to be joined by Clelland Green, who is the President of Benepath, Inc., who connects consumers and small businesses with insurance agents across the country. He's published a wide variety of articles covering a wide array of topics, ranging from controlling healthcare costs and consumer-directed healthcare to marketing, advertising, and vendor selection. His articles have been published in Employee Benefit News, HR Executive, Benefits and Compensation News, and several other publications. Clelland, thanks so much for joining us.
Hey, happy to be here.
Let's go back in time a little bit. How'd you get into the industry?
The insurance industry itself, or this business that we're in right now? If it's the insurance industry.
Let's start with the insurance industry and then go forwards to the business you're in now.
I graduated from college in 1985, and the economy wasn't great in the first few of the Reagan years. I mean, that Reagan revolution, the economy really didn't start smoking until like 86, 87. And I just ended up getting a job with a life insurance agency in Philadelphia to sell individual life insurance, and got securities license and, became quote unquote a financial planner before that was regulated. Yeah, that's how I got into the business, kind of fell into it.
Well, congratulations on that. And then how did you go from that to what you're doing now?
I went from selling over the kitchen table, found that wasn't a great experience because you had to work nights and days. It was 10, 12-hour days because nobody could meet you until after work. And I started doing more and more business insurance. From that, I started doing group benefits. And from that, I started my first company, which was a third-party administrator. We were doing self-funded health plans. Built that up, built the first online health plan in the country. That company got sold back in 2004. Went to work as EVP of marketing for a publicly traded Fortune 500 agency, and left there to start this company. Initially started to be an agency focusing on individual health insurance because I saw that market going up and the group marketplace declining. And that just ended up being the path. Within a year, we made the decision because the model we built was just a little bit tough to manage. We didn't have the technology we have today with Zoom and Hangouts and all the other video conferencing to manage a disparate workforce. So I tried to set up a company that was 100% in the cloud back in 2006. Everything just wasn't there yet. We had Skype, but Skype was okay. It wasn't perfect. And you really missed the face-to-face. So I either had to bring everybody in-house and manage them, or I had to become an FMO. And people who knew me from the business said, hey, can I buy leads from you that you're not using because these other leads stink? Okay, well, there's a third option. And I made a decision to go into the lead side of the business.
Okay, so talk a little bit about how that works and how you're connecting consumers and small business owners with insurance agents around the country.
Obviously, it starts with the agents that we work with all across the country. We work hard to tell them to communicate that we've got this product and we have a program. We really refined the product day one, saying we're only going to do exclusive leads and we're going to manage our own marketing. We're not just going to be this warehouse where I get 8 million affiliates on one side and they ping me rates, ping me leads, and then I ping them out. I said, we're going to manage our own marketing so that people would get the leads that they would get if they did their own marketing themselves. And then that way, the agents can spend all their time being what they're good at, which is a professional consultant to all their customers. So we have those agents. Once we have the agents in place, then we build websites and marketing campaigns. In health insurance. 80% of our leads are coming from Google right now. And then you've got Bing, and then there's 4 other places that we found that we can get decent leads, but you just don't get the volume or the quality that you get from Google. And that's pretty much true. Group is 100% Google, where there's nowhere else to get their leads from. Medicare is mostly Google also. Commercial insurance is 100% Google. And those are pretty much all of our products. We bifurcated, we've got calls and we have data leads. We manage these campaigns every week, looking at where do we need to get leads for our agents getting those leads and then immediately sending them out to our agents so they can reach out to them and connect with them and make sales.
So you're providing an incredible asset to the marketplace, and that you're helping consumers get what or business owners get what they're looking for. And you're helping the agents and the advisors get actual quality leads, which is the holy grail of our business, right? If they can just get enough quality people to talk to or to sit in front of or Zoom in front of these days,
right,
then their book of business. What have been, I know it hasn't been a straight line and you've gone through some ups and downs along the way, like every business. What have been some of the most important lessons you've learned?
Wow. So Seth, I mean, going back to when we converted from being an agency to a lead company, and that would be 2008, the first things that we had that were a big impact is, we had the financial crisis. What ended up happening there is consumers had no money to buy plans, and agents had their credit cards that they were financing their businesses off of go from these $20,000 and $30,000 credit limits to $2,000 overnight. So it was a perfect storm, and that was a heck of a thing to go through. And the second thing that hit us was the Affordable Care Act. That was a significant change because prior to the Affordable Care Act, the implementation of the MLR, commissions were as high as 40% on some of these products out there. And I remember getting a phone call from a large operation in Florida, and they said, we need our leads to stop tomorrow after the United Healthcare letter came out announcing their cut in commissions. And I was like, well, you've got a 2-week notice to cancel. He goes, well, Clelland, that's fine. But tomorrow morning, there'll be nobody here and the keys to the office will be on the secretary's desk. I was like, wow. We got told by people that they were going to go work for Walmart. A couple of people said they're going to become truck drivers. It was a massive impact. And we kind of saw that part of the Affordable Care Act coming because the government took away the commissions before they gave the subsidies and everything else. And we know what happened to commissions since that time. But in the initial years, once the exchanges went up, it was a great deal for the agents. They could make a lot of money and the government was helping pay for the premium, which was one of the biggest reasons the agents weren't making sales, is people just didn't have the money to buy the plan. So navigating that, we saw what was going to happen. And that's when we got into the Medicare space and the group lead space. Those products went up, the health product went down. We were able to manage those two crises just by hanging on tooth and nail and a lot of grit and a lot of determination.
What advice would you give to a new agent or advisor starting out now?
The first piece of advice I give every new agent, and I do this, like if I get on the phone with a guy who's just starting or a girl who's just starting in the business, and they say to me, well, I'm just starting and I want to buy all these expensive leads. The first thing I say is, you are starting a business. And there's a lot of agents right now that are starting with FMOs and they're 1099. They think that they're getting a job and they don't get it that they're starting a business. So whether or not they've got, ABC insurance agency on their card or not, they are starting a business. And they need to be thinking like, do I have the resources to start a business? Can I put food on the table for the next 6 months? Because I'm going to spend more in leads than I'm going to make in commissions. And then it's going to start turning around once I get good at this. And some people get good in the first month. Some people, it takes a year for them to get good at it. It just depends on how much time you're taking. The second thing I would tell them is sales is a profession, and the people who treat it like a profession, and they are constantly sharpening their sword, and they're working on their listening skills, and they're working on their product knowledge, and they're working on understanding how their products fit with their consumers, and understanding that every consumer isn't the same, and learning how to make that correct match between all the products they have over here and what that specific person needs. Building those relationships with people, so that they don't think of you as somebody who sold them a policy. They think of you as their agent, as their advisor. That's when you start to see success. And the people who are out there just looking to score a sale, make a commission, I've seen some of them do really well, but that's the exception. The rule generally is the people who act like professionals and treat their customers as human beings and build relationships and do the right thing, they're going to be wildly successful. And good agents make 6 figures. End of story. Full stop. But most agents don't make six figures.
What do you think, with all the success you've achieved and helped everybody else, what's your biggest challenge now?
Boy, so our biggest challenge right now is the constantly changing regulatory environment. Who knows what the Biden administration is going to do with health insurance? Trump took it from a 3-month short-term medical to a 3-year short-term medical. So it really wasn't short-term medical anymore. And the Democrats kind of hate that. We literally built a solar lead product, which is outside of the insurance space, just looking at the tea leaves and saying, boy, if the Democrats win, solar is going to be a big deal. They're going to probably find money to throw into solar, and they're probably going to impact the individual health marketplace somehow. I'd say that's probably one of the biggest challenges that we face. And the second biggest challenge is dealing with Google. I mean, Google is, they're the 800-pound gorilla. They are a monopoly. They like to say they're not, but there's just no getting around it. If I look at the same campaigns, the same bids on both platforms, if it's just between Google and Bing, it's 90% to 95% Google what you get back in leads and 5 to 10% Bing. So there really are no competitors. And if you look at it, then the search engines that are out there that use Google for their advertising piece, well, that cuts down the competition even more. What are you left with? DuckDuckGo, which is, they're a great company. And believe it or not, they're located like 3 miles from our office in Paoli, Pennsylvania. How many people actually know DuckDuckGo? And they use Bing. Bing having a site like DuckDuckGo and a couple other good search sites, it's 80%. At the end of the day, it's 80, 95% Google. They control it, and they're constantly changing their algorithms, and they just make it very hard to do what we do. I can't even imagine being an individual agent trying to do my own campaigns.
What do you think differentiates you from all the other lead companies out there?
Well, A, we get a higher percentage of leads from our own marketing and advertising efforts than any of them do. B, we only do exclusive leads. And that makes us very unique as far as the large. If you look at All Web Leads and Quote Wizard, and we know all these people, and they're great people. We've got friends at every single one of these companies, but they all do shared leads. And some of them will only do shared leads, and some do shared and exclusive. And if you get an exclusive lead from a company that does shared leads, they don't sell you that exclusive lead if they can sell that lead shared and make more money, right? So what are you getting? You're getting the leads that were filtered out by all the other agents, because for health insurance, for instance, that 40-year-old who lives in a good zip code, who has 3 dependents and is healthy, that lead is never going out exclusive during business hours at a shared lead company. I mean, never. You're not going to get that lead from us. We only do exclusive. They go out round robin. If you're buying lead from us and that same lead comes through our campaigns on Google, you're going to get that lead.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you do?
I directly work with the search team here. I think the thing that I like the most is trying to figure out what Google is doing and to come up with strategies and tactics on how to address that, as well as the creative side of the campaigns, coming up with that ad copy that's going to separate us from all the other ads that you'll see on the page, and to get that traffic and to make the Google engine happy. That's probably the most intellectually stimulating time of my day. And the other part is dealing with the people. I love talking to the customers. I love working with the team here. I mean, this company wouldn't exist if, this is not Clelland Green and a bunch of people running around doing everything I tell them to do. This is a company where people have a lot of independence and they've got to be self-starters. They get to control their day and to pick the things that they're focusing on. My role is more coach than it is dictator. It's just a great place to work. I love the people that are here, and it makes it very enjoyable.
Awesome. If our folks watching or listening want to learn more about you and how they can work with you, where is the best place for us to send them?
The website you'd go to is benepath.net. So it's benepath.net. If you go there, you'll see the phone number to reach us. That phone number is 866-368-0377.
All right. This has been Seth Green with Clelland Green, no relation, from Benepath, Inc.
Oh, we're old cousins.
Sure we are. Clelland, thanks so much for joining us.
All right, you take care, Seth. Great talking to you.
Thanks everybody for watching or listening. We'll see or talk to you next time.